So yata vak. So we should be able to keep the instrument down. That ability one should develop, because these are all instruments. Our vak, our hands, our legs, organs of action, we should be able to shut it down. So vak, lot of like if we follow the maunam and all, practice it, slowly and steadily the vak can come under our control. We speak only when it is required, otherwise no. Within also. See, there was one mind reader, he used to read minds. So one day he wanted to read the mind of a master, a realized master, Mahatma. So he went there and he sat in front of him, trying to read his mind. He sat, he used to read within 1 minute he used to read. He sat for 1 minute, 2 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours. Later on someone asked him that, what did you read? What was he thinking? He said he was not thinking anything. His mind was so silent that I could not hear anything. I could not read anything. There was nothing. Absolute stillness. Only when there was some communication required, the master will speak. Otherwise, he is silent. There is no need to prepare your speech. To interact with the world, you don't have to prepare. It's not giving a talk or something. Even giving a talk, you don't have to prepare. So it just spontaneously is to speak. Someone asks a realized master that how do you answer questions? People ask you a question and you answer. What happens? What happens in your mind when question is asked? He said, my mind is like a lake of still waters. And when a question is asked, it is like a little pebble thrown into the lake. And the ripples are generated. Those are the answers to that question. And after the answer is given, again the lake becomes silent, becomes still. So that ability to control our tongue, as Swami Vivekananda says, that if we can only control our tongue, we can control the whole world at ease. Controlling tongue is a very important sadhana. Tongue has got lot of portfolios. See, each like those ministers and all, they are given some portfolios. Our tongue is given 2-3 portfolios. It has got the ability to speak, it has got the ability to taste and touch also. So it has all this ability, therefore it is very powerful. So if we can control our tongue, we will be able to control our whole personality also. If we observe that when we meditate and all, the tongue keeps on moving, so it has to be kept absolutely still. Either touching the top of our palate, or just let it remain still. Yoga is to concentrate. Ekagri karanam. And dhyana means thoughts of the self. Atma swarupa chintanam yoga. Atma vishaye eva ekagri karanam. So dhyana is to think about the self. Whatever we have studied, we should bring that in our mind and think of the self. When we think of the self, the attention goes there. Our attention goes where what we are thinking. So thinking is just to shift our attention. If you think of the rose, the attention goes on the rose. If we think of the self, the attention goes on the self. But you can think of the self if you have studied the scriptures and have contemplated on it. So the scriptures indicate, a lot of indicators of the self are there. Ajam, nirvikalpam, nirakaramekam. So all these indicators are there. So with the help of them, we have to think of the self and focus all our attention and thoughts on the self. That is called dhyana yoga. Focusing our thinking of the self and then paying attention on that self. For example, is your attention now on your, what you call, thumb? When I said thumb, then your attention might have gone there. But before I said, your attention was not on the thumb, unless it is hurting. So when I said thumb, then the attention went there. So the thought of thumb, the word thumb, the thought of thumbs makes us shift our attention. Similarly, the thought of the self, as generated, as given to us by the scriptures, make us shift our attention on the self. So keeping our attention on the self is called dhyana. In the 6th chapter also, Bhagavan said, ki yato yato nischarati manaschanchalam astiram tatastato niyammetad atmani eva vasham nayet. Shanay shanay ruparamed buddhyadhriti grihitaya atma sanstam manakritva na kinchitapi chintayet. Slowly and steadily, shanay shanay ruparamed, withdraw your attention from the world. Buddhyadhriti grihitaya, with your buddhi, with the power of discrimination, and with firmness, withdraw your attention and focus it on the self. And once it is focused on the self, don't think anything else. Then drop your thinking. Thinking is just a vehicle to shift our attention. Atma sanstam manakritva na kinchidapi chintayet. Thinking is just a vehicle. So once we have reached that attention, then the thoughts are dropped. But first we take the help of the thought. Like we have those meditation verses, they are the thoughts. They generate thoughts which help in shifting our attention to ourself. And there are two types of, one is withdrawing from what is not self and focusing on the self. Like the famous meditation verse, that Nirvana Shatakam of Bhagavan Shankaracharya, Mano buddhya hankara chittani naham, nacha shrotra jivhe, nacha ghrana netre, nacha vyoma bhumir na tejo na vayuhu, chidananda rupa shivoham shivoham. So I am not this, not the mind, not the intellect, not the senses, not the world and all. And Chidananda, who am I? Chidananda rupa shivoham shivoham. I am that pure consciousness, the witness of all the three states of experience. The one which is never born, nor does it die, changeless, immutable. Those are just words which help me to shift my attention on myself. And once that attention is focused on the self, then you drop the thoughts. Then you don't have to take their help. Then their job is done. Then you just remain silently. But even if the attention again shifts somewhere, then again take help of the thoughts to shift the attention on the self. This is meditation. If you understand, very good. If you don't understand, also very good. But this is what it is. You contemplate, think, understand, and follow this path. This is the direct path which Bhagavan has revealed very beautifully. And this is authentic. See, in the name of meditation, nowadays people teach anything. Everything under the sun is taught in the name of meditation. But those things are not authentic. If they are not in tune with what Bhagavan is saying, then they are not authentic. Then they are nakli mal hai. You should check whether this ISI mark is there or not. If it is there, then, because here whatever Bhagavan says in Gita, it is in tune with the Upanishads and in tune with the realized masters. So it is very authentic. Even great masters like Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi, who has recognized the self, he says whatever is said in Gita is very true. I am experiencing. What is said in the Upanishad is very true. So dhyana yoga paraha nityam. Paraha is totally engaged in dhyana yoga. A person should remain absolutely engaged in dhyana yoga, nityam, constantly. It requires constant meditation. The final journey one has to take up sincerely. It's a last, what you call the last step. The final journey has to be taken sincerely. So once one takes that nityam, vairagyam samapashritaha, and what helps us in this journey is vairagya, taking support of vairagya, taking refuge in vairagya. Vairagya if we have, then the journey becomes absolutely smooth. Vairagya means total dispassion towards the world, towards all that is false. Dispassion towards the false, dispassion towards anatma. Vairagya. If one has got a lower type of vairagya, then one reaches what we call savikalpa samadhi. But when one has got a higher vairagya, param vairagya, then one reaches that state of nirvikalpa samadhi. Nirvikalpa means all duality comes to an end. If lower type of vairagya is there, then one may attain some stillness of the mind. But again, after some time, again one is distracted. But if one has got a higher vairagya, then we can take the final jump, final leap into the Supreme. So vairagyam samupashritaha is like going into sleep. So when we are not very sleepy, or we have not given up our attraction for the world, we are worried about something, thinking, planning, then we can't go into sleep. But when we give up the world, in pravachan also, when we give up the world, chalo kaun sunega ye pravachan? We gain vairagya towards the pravachan, towards everything, then we get a good sleep actually. But if you are interested in knowing what I am saying, you have all agenda of the world, then you can't sleep. Similarly, lower vairagya means still agenda is there left in the world. Still you have something to do, something to gain, something to respond and react and transact in the world is still there. Then it is not possible to dive deep and become one with our own self. But if one has got this higher vairagya, then one can. Vairagya means total freedom or dropping of all desire for any bhoga in the world outside. No attraction, no sensual attraction, nor the emotional attraction, nor intellectual attraction towards the world of names and forms. That is vairagya. When it is there, then one can jump into this. This is the final what you call, final what? Final leap. There used to be a program on television. What's the good word? So that's a good word. Final leap. Still one more verse is there actually. So this is the final leap. So the next verse is the final leap. Ahankaram balam darpam kamam krodham parigraham vimucya nirmama shantah brahma bhuyaya kalpate ahankaram balam darpam kamam krodham Bhagavan says, ahankaram, ego, balam, strength, darpa, pride, kamam, desires, krodham, anger, parigraham, hoarding, sense of possessiveness, vimuchya, having dropped all of them, nirmamaha, becoming free from the sense of possession, shantaha, becoming absolutely silent. When such a state is reached, Bhagavan says, Brahma bhuyaya kalpate, such a person becomes fit to become Brahma, to experience that Brahma, to become one with Brahma, to reach the final state of enlightenment. This is the condition for the final state of enlightenment. If one wants to reach, and that itself is the state of meditation or that samadhi or the state of enlightenment. What is it? One should be in this state of meditation, should be able to drop all this. It is more of dropping than on holding, because we are already that self, we are already that Brahma. Only some covering or some obstacle is there which has to be dropped. So what is the obstacle? What are the obstacles? One is ahankaram. Ahankar is a sense of I am the doer, this attitude. The limited sense of I. Ahankar is also I. But this I is made up of thoughts and emotions and ideas. It's a thought created personality. Ahankar is a thought created personality, and it keeps on modifying and changing. What I think of myself in the state of ignorance is called this ahankar. I am a human being, I am a man, I am a woman, I am a young, old, I am a Hindu, Muslim, I am an Indian. Whatever you add to that I, anything if added to that I, that is the ahankar. I mean, that whole thing, unit is called ahankar. I am so and so. And all these are nothing but thoughts, ideas, concept with respect to the objective world. So this is ahankar. Suppose you are, let us say you are in let us say which place, in Calcutta, and you are near the Howrah Bridge, and you are enjoying the whatever scene it is there. I don't know what scene can be there. And then I meet you there. Each one imagine, I meet you there in Howrah Bridge. And I ask you, what is the time? You check your watch and says it is 5 in the evening, 5 p.m. Then I tell you that, listen, Mr. or Mrs. or whoever, so and so, that it is actually 3 a.m. and you are not here at Howrah Bridge, you are in Delhi, you are in your room, and you are lying down on your bed. When I tell you that, you will look at me as though ये पता नहीं कहाँ से पागल को आ गया है, इसका दिमाग तो खराब नहीं हुआ है. All these things you might think in your mind.